Hey vinyl community, Mike here. Just doing a little video today about stuff that I purchased yesterday. Yesterday was actually my birthday, so I took a handful of some of the some of the money that I've made in selling my record portraits, and I went down and I spent 45 minutes sitting on the floor going through the discount bin at one of my favorite record stores. And I got a big haul, so thought I would just show you what I picked up. I don't know what happens to a record that it ends up in a sleeve that looks like this. But this is DJ Rectangle. For those of you into turntablism, I'm sure you'll know who DJ Rectangle is. And this one I got, it's on just regular black vinyl. It's actually a double album. Although I don't know if I would call it an album. A lot of times it's just noises. For 49 cents. I can't even get it back in the sleeve. But he does turntable battles, so a lot of times his records are like tracks that you just sample from. But yeah, 49 cents. Can't go wrong. And then I picked up, so these are the ones that I'm familiar with. I think I may have actually even shown a clock that I made from this one, DJ Rectangle, The Ultimate Battle Weapon. This one happens to be Volume 3. So we have tracks like Vinyl Combat 2, Scratch and Flare, Time to Feel It, Wicked Samples, Bust This Tone. I think Bust This Tone is the one that's just like, it goes for like 5 minutes. I don't know what you would use that for, but whatever. Also 49 cents. This is the Volume 2 version on marbled gray vinyl. So if they're horrible, at least I can use them for artwork. And then this is the Ultimate Battle Weapon. I believe this is the very first one. And this is on, it looks kind of marbled on white vinyl. So, and these are all 49 cents. So, what are you going to do? I picked this one up. I've never heard of this. I don't know if this is a thing or not. This is $1, but I picked it up because I thought it would make a great clock. This is a picture disc of Lips. So, that one is destined to be a clock. And I picked up a really beat to death version of the White Album just because I thought I would register it on the White Album site. It turns out there was only one record in it. I didn't check. So this will probably become a clock too. So here we go. So these are the real the real albums I purchased. So Spinning Greek, yeah. Picked up Al Stewart, Year of the Cat, which I've seen about 1 billion times until I was actually looking for it, and then I couldn't find it anywhere. I purchased this one because, yes, of course, it's a Hypnosis cover. Picked up his, it's right here. Picked up his Out of Time album just a bit ago, and so now I have 2 albums by Al Stewart that I've never listened to. But Hypnosis covers, so my lifetime project of collecting Hypnosis covers has got a couple more now. So I picked up 4 from Jean-Luc Ponty, electric violinist, keyboardist. He played with Zappa for a while. He did his own stuff, so I've heard some of this stuff and I liked it. But it's been like probably 30 years since I listened to this, so I picked up a couple other ones I actually haven't listened to yet, but I thought I'd get these 2 since they're 99 cents. So we got this one, A Taste for Passion, Imaginary Voyage, Aurora, and Cosmic Messenger. Now, I did have this one before, and I thought it was good, even though back in the day I was like, oh, you know, give me AC/DC and whatever. I mean, I was into harder stuff. So the fact that I remember this fondly gives me hope that I'll like the rest of them. Purchased a copy of Ram. That's pretty kind of beat up, but I mean, what do you do when you see a Beatles or a, you know, Paul McCartney album for 99 cents? You almost have to buy it, right? I mean, if it doesn't play, I guess that could become a clock too. Then I came across some Todd Rundgren. This one is, what is this one? Todd Rundgren, Todd. That's the name of it, Todd. There's a double album. And then this one is Hermit of Monk Hollow, which I didn't know because it doesn't say it anywhere on the cover. So, so 2 Todd Rundgrens. I've been getting into the Utopia, another Todd Rundgren that I have. I mean, you kind of have to accept that the time when Utopia and early Todd Rundgren stuff was going on, that keyboards and synthesizers were, you know, that was the happening thing. Generally, I kind of stray away from a lot of keyboard influenced, you know, synthesizer stuff, but it's been kind of growing on me, so why not? Ricky Lee Jones, Flying Cowboys. I got a soft spot for Ricky Lee Jones. Her, of course, Chucky's in Love album came out when I was in high school, and I remember going out and buying it just based on hearing that song. I love that song. And at the time I was like, what's the rest of it didn't really do much for me. But I restarted collecting records, you know, whatever, 4 years ago. Came across, you know, Ricky Lee Jones albums are everywhere. And I found that one and picked it up, and I found that now I really dig it. So, experimenting with some more of her stuff. I found a less beat up copy of Big Country. This album is an 80s classic. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows this album. I also picked up their second album, I believe, Steel Town, which is, I think it's their second one. I don't know a single song off this one, so that should be interesting. Here we go, Spooner. I don't know if anybody out there is familiar with Spooner. They are a local Madison band. I don't know if this is going to be able to see this. It's not going to focus, but Butch Vig of Smart Studios / drummer for Garbage. He did a lot of other work before, you know, doing that. So he played drums on this album for Spooner. Pretty sure Dalton saw these guys several times. Tried to get me to go out to see them. You know, I've been getting the Emerson, Lake and Palmer stuff, so Love Beach. I mean, this cover is just, I don't even know what to say about this album. I feel bad. And I don't know a single song on this whole album. Interestingly, though, it has this nice insert, which I think is cool. Shows the albums. I think I'm still missing Tarkus and Brain Salad Surgery. And then on the back, you guys are gonna love this. You can order your own Love Beach. There's some pretty hip jogging shorts there. That's nice. Or the silk jacket with Love Beach on there. Not sure this album really took off enough for me to want to wear Love Beach attire. But we'll see. I'm prejudging it. It's my bad, but come on. Yeah. Music could be fantastic, but they still, I think, went the wrong direction with the with the cover. So then we got 2 albums by Tom Scott. I picked up one of these, a Tom Scott album before, and it was kind of like, I don't know. And then at the last second, I got it. It was $1 too. And so it turned out to be pretty good, actually. So when I saw these, I thought I'd have to get them. Now, this cover is pretty blatantly sexist. We got all kinds of scantily clad women. And then on the back, you see him in the car, and then there's someone driving by wearing a pig mask. So, can you see that? Yeah. So interesting cover there. This album's called Street Beat, and then this one's called New York Connection. So we'll check those out. Now, for Helmet Diggy out there, he sent me a copy of Neil Diamond's Rainbow, which I didn't have, and I haven't seen for years since I've been looking. And I came across another copy, so I just picked this up as a backup. But, yeah, the other one. So this is the... Which one was... Okay, so this is the MCA version, so I believe this one came first. And then, I don't know, they decided this cover picture wasn't horrible enough, so they decided to paint one. This is bad. This is probably the reason why I passed this up in the first place. It just looks like a K-Tel or shoot, what's the other brand? Just just cheap old knockoffs. So I passed on it, but this one has a nice sticker in the bottom that says sample copy. It's actually a sticker that somebody put on there. So yeah, Neil Diamond. It's actually a good album. Yeah. Mr. Bojangles is probably the only song in here that I can't stand to listen to. I just never liked that song, ever. Then we got some jazzy stuff. Here is Billy Cobham, Crosswinds. Now, I already have this, but my copy is just not great by any means. So I thought this might be an upgrade copy. It's pretty nice. And then I also got, against my better judgment almost, another Billy Cobham album called Picture This. Now, this is the kind of album cover that turns me off. I mean, even if it said Led Zeppelin here, I'd be like, ugh. I mean, this cover art is... This just screams... Yeah, 1987. So, here he is in the front. He's got the paintbrushes that are, drumsticks made into paintbrushes. And on the back, a portrait of, who he did. Or painted, excuse me. I mean, but we'll see. I really enjoyed, actually, the Billy Cobham album that I purchased before. So, despite the cover, this might be not bad. So then... despite, George Benson, I bought a bunch of them, and it's been kind of a mix of really great, kind of jazz guitar, but unfortunate, sign of the times kind of music where it just really didn't age greatly. But I continue to buy them, and I got these two. This is George Benson Body Talk. I mean, I've never seen this. This is arranged and conducted by Pee Wee Ellis. Available on LP, 8-track, reel-to-reel, and stereo cassette. Then I also picked up Good King Bad, which is apparently a movie theme. It's got One Rock Don't Make No Boulder, Cast Your Fate to the Wind. That was the one. It's also got a spider living in it. we'll get that later. Cast Your Fate to the Wind is a song that was covered by Couch Flambeau, which I really like. So I'm really curious to hear George Benson play it without comic overtones. Almost done. 4 to go. Robin Trower, Victims of Fury. I purchased this several weeks ago, and it was cracked. And I was disappointed because the other songs that I played on it, the crack was in the first song. So the first 2 songs of both sides were ruined. But the rest of it was good. So I saw this for 99 cents, and I'm like, yeah, snag that Robin Trower. Robin Trower is awesome. Blackfoot Tom Catton. This album I picked up, I distinctly remember picking this up when I lived in Roselle, Illinois. I was going to high school there. And they had this at the library. They had this one, and then there was one just very similar that had like a cobra head on it. And I was like, wow, these are weird covers. So I picked this one up and took it home and fell in love with it. This is, if you like, I'm trying to, not exactly like Leonard Skinner or Molly Hatchet, but it's just got kind of that southern rock feel. Rick Medlock, lead guitarist on it. So a funny story about these guys. So when I was in high school, I took astronomy. I know. It was, elective that I thought was going to be easy. Who knew that there was going to be a lot of math in astronomy? I got calculating Doppler effects and stuff. I was like, oh man, are you kidding me? So half of the class were folks like me, and the other half of the class were folks like, let me use my words carefully. We're less interested in being there and more interested in hanging out after school, wearing their leather coats, skipping class. The folks I'm talking about. Friendly people, a couple were friends of mine. I just didn't roam in the same circles. So a guy that I sat next to, who sat right on the right hand side of me, was just unbelievably that way. I mean, he was like hitting the one-hit pipe and in the middle of class. It was just nuts. But he won tickets to see Def Leppard, and Blackfoot was opening for them. And I was like, oh, I know about Blackfoot. I didn't care much for Def Leppard at that point. But I'm like, Blackfoot is awesome. And I tried to tell him about this album, And he wasn't having it. He was like, oh, Def Leppard. So he went to the show and he had like backstage passes, right? And he said that the guys from Def Leppard were just complete ass. And that they didn't have any time for him and they were just, whatever. And he said that Rick Medlock, he went over to their dressing room to say hi or whatever. And Rick Medlock brought him in and was like, hey, let's have some whiskey or whatever. And he stayed in their dressing room like the whole time up until the show. He said that he was like totally cool and he really liked them, and he was mad at Def Leppard after that. So, but yeah. So the other one, I think it's called Strikes. The one with the cobra on it is good too. It's got some classic songs on it, but overall, I think this one is the best. So there's my story. Okay, 2 to go. I've picked up a few Ramsey Lewis along the way, and I've really dug them. And this one seems like super old. This is on Cadet Records. Yeah, I don't see a date on it anywhere. It was recorded in '65, so this is Hang On Ramsey, the Ramsey Lewis Trio. This was recorded live at the Lighthouse in Hermosa Beach, California. So this is a live album. But the track list is, I guess this is what they, kind of did back then. They did covers of, popular songs, and they jazzed them. We got A Hard Day's Night on here, and I Love Her. So 2 Beatle ones. You got high heel sneakers, hang on Sloopy. So, not sure. And they had like 3 copies of this. So, I don't know. We're going to check it out. And last but not least, we have this one. I don't know why it says digital across the top. But I did see it's on Pablo Records. Now I have another record that I got in a grab bag that was, I can't remember what it was. But, you know, I was going to cut it into something, and I was like, I might try it. So when I saw Pablo Records on here, I was like, oh, I wonder what this is. So, and of course, you know, Nigerian marketplace, I was like, oh, maybe this is African music, right? But it's not. It's Oscar Peterson. He plays piano. So basically it's Oscar Peterson, Niels Henning Orsted Peterson on bass, and Terry Clark on drums. And I'm like, that's a kind of a sparse, you know, trio. So I thought I might check this out. When I got home, and again, I don't know why it says, maybe this is like a repress from you know, I don't know, I haven't really looked it up yet. But it's on red vinyl, which is cool. So I got this for 99 cents. So if nothing else, this could become, you know, David Bowie Red Stripe for my cuttings. So that's that. That was my purchases. Under $30, so can't go wrong. And I use my profits to pick that up. So, and it was, you know, happy birthday to me. So, yeah, I am now incredibly old. So, while I was there, I asked if they had any. If they ever hosted any art, you know, from folks or whatever. And I told her, you know, briefly about my record cutting stuff. And she was like, no, not really. You know, we don't have much space or whatever. I'm like, okay. So I left my card anyway. And I got an email a few hours later saying that she had looked at my stuff and just thought it was really cool and thought that she might like to try doing some consignment stuff. So, never know. Could have my stuff in a record store, which would be, I think, a good place to get it sold. So I'll see what happens with that. So, all in all, a good birthday. So, that's all I have. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Talk to you later.